Hey, welcome back to Faith, Family, and Politics. I think we're going to have a certain type of show today.
We're going to have a really big show today.
Yeah. Hey, okay. Of course, that was our good friend Louie. He's not in the studio tonight, but we do have a nice cast here that I'm going to...
Make sure you get yourself first.
dig into. No, I'm going last.
Okay.
I'm going last. No, I'm not. I am your guest host, Alan McFarland, the occasional and rare host of Laughing Libertarian, but go check it out. It's kind of fun. Don't bring your kids. But keep your kids here. Anyway, to my left, the perfect producer, who's up here now. Hi.
Hey.
We have Sterling. You want to say hi to people?
Hi, people.
Hey, people.
So glad to be here, people.
Yay.
I love you, people.
Yeah. Okay. And across from Sterling, we have Brother James joining us today.
Yay. Oh, yeah.
We're going to definitely, that wasn't so much for the faith portion. It was more for the family portion, but it works out. So next to me, of course, you know this guy. You see his face, usually behind the red mic, occasionally behind the green mic, rarely back there in the producers section. It's kind of strange for his own show, but he will if he has to.
This is a wild introduction.
Josh Cummins.
Hey, everybody.
And before you get cracking here, can I go ahead and pay some bills?
Yes.
Please make sure to go ahead and subscribe, like, share in whatever order you like there, because that's not how I normally say it. If you're already subscribed, hit the bell, because we don't know if YouTube's going to tell you about this stuff or not.
Ding, ding.
There you go. And I would normally say comment, but we're going to save that for the end. So, I mean, you know what? I'm not even going to stop you. You want to comment, do it right now.
Yeah, do it throughout.
Let us know what's up. So, anyway, Josh, it's all you, buddy. I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah, well, just before I get into the message real quick, I just want to say it is a very special night for me, anyway.
Brother James.
Yeah, because my younger brother James is here, and
much younger.
Yeah, he's 4 years younger than me, but he's so much taller.
A lot more gray hair and balding.
You didn't have to tell him everything. The audio listeners don't know.
Now they do.
Just get a visual picture.
Yeah. But he's a handsome guy. He's here, and I'm so excited because I've been praying about it and hoping for him to come join us, and now he's here. And so maybe I'm too excited, and he's looking at me like, oh, whatever, dude.
I told you I would come.
Yeah, he's here.
You build it, they will come.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, we built a pretty good studio.
I was going to wait till the 100th episode because I wanted to be a special guest on that, so it would be a big thing for you. But
we'll have you back for that.
There's I could do that too.
Yeah.
There's long week.
We'll look at the calendar and figure out what Friday it's on so we can get a schedule.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to, during the family portion, we can talk about how long your week actually was. Okay. But to kick things off, we do have a message here. We're going to, the title is God's Forgiveness. This is the finish off a series that I've been doing. We started off with Forgive Yourself, and then we went to Forgive Others. That was the second part of the series, and then now we've got God's Forgiveness. This is going to bring it all home. It's going to make everything make sense. That Forgive Yourself message kind of landed a little flat, but then once you had Forgive Others, that helped bring some stuff home, and then now we've got God's Forgiveness. Now to start off with, I wanted to get, because this is I'm going to structure this like yes, let's pray. Father God, we want to thank you for this chance to be able to have fellowship and hopefully a lot of fun as well. We want to make sure that we're reaching as many souls as we can so that we can bring them home to you, Lord. And hopefully this message will let them know just how much your forgiveness and grace can do for them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So much like with Forgive Others, thanks Sterling for reminding me too.
No problem.
I'm scatterbrained, so especially this week. So
you're forgiven already.
Thanks. But just like with Forgive Others, I want to do it more of a Bible study way of going through this message. So I will do a little bit of, quite a bit of reading, but also open it up for discussion as to what that means. And to start with, it's my favorite verse. And a lot of people look at me funny when I say this is my favorite verse, but it's because it levels the playing field. It's Romans 3:23. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And the reason I say it levels the playing field is because that means that's everybody. That's me, that's you, that's everybody in the studio, your cousin, your sister. It doesn't matter. If you've seen a human being, they've fallen short of the glory of God. They're a sinner, and they have sinned. So let's determine what sin is, why we need forgiveness from God. Sin is a key concept in the Bible. Sin is rebellion against God, be it in words, deeds, or desires. It destroys the relationship between God and humans, and also has disastrous consequences for people's relationships with each other and with their natural environment. Does it make sense? Mm-hmm. So now that we've defined it, and we know that we have all done it. No matter who you are, if you think you're perfect, even Alan over here, as perfect as he is.
He does have perfect hair, though.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. The wind. I just rolled the window down.
Yeah, it stresses him a lot whether or not his hair is perfect.
Early on,
Sure.
Josh was like, "Your hair." I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, those first few episodes of Laughing Libertarian were tough because he was like, "I gotta go fix my hair. Gotta make sure it's good." So there's good news, and this is the key part of God's forgiveness for us Christians, and that's John 3:16 and 17. People like to just quote 16, but 17 is very important as well. For God so loved the world. That's all of us again. That's just like in Romans 3:23. It's all of us, that He gave His only Son. Now, I know that I'm surrounded by fathers in this room. So could you imagine giving up your child for everyone?
Depends on the day.
Yeah, that's highly agreeable.
There's some days where I'd give up my kid for a hot sandwich, and then there are other days where I'm like, all right, screw the world. It's me and my kid.
Two sandwiches.
Yeah.
2 sandwiches. Yeah, 2 sandwiches on a Tuesday. Two for Tuesday.
That's it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Right, but so this is a massive sacrifice that He's having to give up his one and only child. And I know that none of us would want to imagine giving it. I wouldn't even want to give up my dog Journey, who's laying here in studio. She can't see her on camera, but she's totally chilling on the floor here and on her little dog bed.
Yeah, she has her own segment later. I'm just kidding.
I'm sure of it. She'll make sure of it. But it goes on to say that whosoever believes in Him should not perish, but have eternal life. For God did not send His Son into the world to condemn the world, but in order that the world might be saved through Him. And before we move forward, how does everybody feel about the idea that we can be saved through the sacrifice of God's one and only Son?
Undeserved, for sure.
Going back to Romans 3:23, right? Yeah.
There's no way. I mean, just to take daughter out of it or son, I wouldn't even do it myself. Like, would I die for the sins of the world? No, I don't think I could do it. I mean, I would love to say, yeah, of course I would do that, but people are terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to be like, I'd die for my family, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like those people, I believe are going to carry it on.
Yep.
And respect it. But if I'm not dying for my family and I'm dying for a bunch of, random people who, are obvious sinners, just like, because we all are. Yeah. But it's to go like, I'm going to go die for a bunch of people I don't even know will respect this. You know what I'm saying?
Or even
respect my sacrifice.
They'll use your name in place of a curse word. And that, I mean, I'm sure that I know that would hurt me. And if you're going to the Hebrew root of my name, I share a name with Jesus, so it makes me wince every time I hear it. I know some people have a hard time not saying it, and that's okay. That's but back to the message here. So, did you have anything to add on that, James?
I just say it makes it too easy. I mean, honestly, he took the pretty much put all your sins in one hand, throws behind your head, throws them over his shoulder and forgets about them, and went off and died. And now you're able just to go ask for forgiveness. It's just too easy. Well, it's too easy for the big thing that He gave up, which is His life, just for you to ask for forgiveness and to be saved, willing to go to heaven and have your name wrote down in the book of glory.
Yeah, it's go ahead.
I said I definitely can see where where you're saying that. Yeah, I mean, it's the weight of it. Yeah, and it just anyway. Go ahead.
Sorry. Seems unfathomable.
Kind of a scales kind of thing.
Yeah.
What he did versus.
Yeah. It's really hard to it really is hard to fathom the idea that we just say, hey, I'm acknowledging what I am, save me, and I give myself over to you, and then just allow him to guide you for the rest of your life as best you can, and yeah. So I think that is the hardest thing. We won't go back to the plan of salvation episode that we had. It was just like that's always the hard thing for people to accept. Is like, you mean I can just go with Christ for the rest of my life? And they're floored by that. They're like, how does that even work? But it does. I mean, Louis was a big testament to that.
Mm-hmm.
He shared with us last week, and some guys in this room are a big testament to that. So, even behind the producer's booth, very big testament to the fact that you can just be forgiven and go with Christ. Right, Laura? She lightly said yes.
They won't turn the cameras around.
Yeah, they won't turn the cameras around. They're fake news.
Had to get it in there, Alan. I had to do it.
I will quit this show right now.
I'm sure you will.
You won't. You love the attention.
Now this Bible verse going into, so now we know that we can be forgiven. Now we know that what sin is and why we need forgiveness. And then how are we to move forward? Well, this one's going to sound familiar because it's going to come from my last message from Forgive Others. Ephesians 4:32. Be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you. So that's the next step is we got to forgive others. So we've gotten our forgiveness. We've got Christ in our heart. We're moving forward. Now we need to forgive the other people around us for the things that they've done. And it's difficult to forgive those around us for the things that they've done, especially when we feel a little, there's things even happened recently that I'm still a little raw about, but I'm working through them. I talked with Sterling about it this morning, actually. So,
is that the new toilet paper?
Yes.
No, actually, and we'll get to that in the family portion. Why, if you remind me we'll talk about that in the family portion.
I don't want to talk about this in the family portion. I don't want that to be the segue. I don't want to know.
But yeah, so forgiving others is a very difficult thing to do, especially if you feel like you've been wronged in any way, shape, or form, and or if they've hurt you physically, mentally, however it is. So, but it says it right there in Ephesians 4:32 that we have to. And those are all big things. Like not only forgive them, but be kind to them, tender-hearted toward them, and forgive them the way that God forgave you through Christ. And that's massive. I mean, that we already talked about the weight of giving up your own child for everyone, but now you're doing that with others. Essentially, you're doing that with others. You're giving up yourself.
Their children?
Your ego. Because your ego is a big part of you. It's kind of like a child. It's hard to let go of the ego because you've had that all of your life. And there's some egos in this room. I ain't gonna lie. But
well, I am the goat. I am the goat for a reason.
I was like, Alan, if you felt like I was looking at you, that's just conviction calling you.
That's yeah. Just looking for those egos, man. I just thought we were all really humble in this room.
Yeah, we're the most humble. They tell me all the time. But so even beyond forgiving one another and being kind to them, tenderhearted, we're going to go Colossians 3:13. This is also a familiar thing that we need to be doing. And that is one of my another favorite verse of mine. Colossians 3:13. Bearing with one another, and if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other, as the Lord has forgiven you, so you must forgive. I know that follows right up with that last verse, and we're kind of dancing around the previous message, but these are steps that we have to take now that we have God's forgiveness. But what does it mean to you to have that grace moving forward in your life? To be able to be forgiven of the things you've done.
Well, we asked the newest born here.
I mean, it definitely opens up murder, right? Like it opens up, I typically murder. It definitely goes, hey, you know what? I can get a few in, right? I mean, there's
righteous killing, but not murder.
Fine.
So we've established that last week, but yes.
This is ridiculous.
Not serial stuff.
It's fair. It's fair. Leave some time in between.
Yeah.
Don't connect them.
Yeah.
It just
Move a lot.
It has to be righteous. It has to be called upon by the Lord.
Always claim crazy, and that's always a thing to do. So,
but no, I mean it's nice to know that and I like to think of it as a balance, right? Like if I'm willing to be forgiving of others, that reciprocates, and that's kind of nice. It's kind of nice that you can. As a type A personality kind of person, I really, it's nice to know that I can fail, right? At some point I can fail and know that there's some level of forgiveness. Even if I can't forgive myself for failing at something, I know there's at least, hopefully, some kind of forgiveness. And it's a nice thing.
Yeah.
It's comforting.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, it always goes back to that. If God, I said if way too many times, if God can forgive me for everything that I've done, as in a whole, because you don't offend one person your whole entire life, right? You offend many, 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 many people, but God has all of it. So if God can forgive me for everything, why can't I forgive others? Because I think it even says, like, if you don't forgive others, like, God won't forgive you. So, like, there's a give and take there. I'd rather be forgiven.
Yeah, me too, man.
Or just stop offending people.
I know, it's
Stop being so offensive, Sterling.
Well,
have you seen me?
We're all pretty much professionals at offending people.
Yeah,
that's
you raspy.
Daily.
So this is very relatable, I think, James, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, offending people but understanding that God's grace is there to go back and say, hey, I messed up.
Yeah, I offend people without even trying to offend people. That's just the way I am. I call it how it is, and then if you take it to heart, I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you. I'm just telling you the truth.
There's truth. The telling people the truth in love. That's a fine line, because if you're telling people the truth in love, then there's nothing wrong with that. The
point is you're supposed to love everybody anyway.
Yeah.
So
if you're telling them the truth in love, then if they're upset about you telling them the truth, then that's their conviction coming down on them. That's their own convictions. Danny Tippett explains it a lot better in an episode that he did.
I wish I could remember the video I watched. TikTok's not full of all bad things, but it was a video of forgiveness, and it's kind of weird that today is about forgiveness and watching that video, because it was actually pretty powerful. Dad's seen it. Dad didn't agree with all of it, but it was kind of the basis of, forgiving somebody might be a constant battle of every day. Every time you see them, it might be a constant thing where you have to remind yourself whatever they did, you have to forgive them for it, no matter how. It might be something seriously bad. You might just have to say, I forgive you all over again. But, we're told not to ever hang on to anything, we're told to let it go. Once we say you're forgiven, you're supposed to let it go. Mm-hmm. But some people are not wired the same. Some people do have to kind of reiterate, when they see that person, I forgive you for what you did, or just in their head. And it's not like a thing that you have to tell them face to face. It's just a thing you kind of got to remind yourself. So you're not saying, okay, I'm mad at you all over again, even though I've forgiven you about this. Yeah. And that's something that's very hard to do. So sometimes you do have to I can understand where it was coming from, that you kind of had to reiterate that you always forgive that person for whatever it was they did. And I mean, most of the time, whatever it is, you can just let it go and just say it's over, squashed, over with. So,
yeah, I mean, it can really weigh you down when you haven't forgiven somebody too, because, and it ends up more on you when you haven't forgiven somebody than it does on the other person, because you're the one not letting it go. You're the one hanging on to this, this anger, this, But once you've forgiven them and you let it go, you never know. You might even be able to build a new relationship with that person. So that'll lead me actually right into this story known as the lost sheep. I know that Sterling is pretty familiar with this one. It's in Luke 15, chapter 15, verse 1 through 7. Now the tax collectors and sinners were all drawing near to him, and the Pharisees and the scribes grumbled, saying, "This man receives sinners and eats with them." So he told them this parable. "What man of you, having 100 sheep, and if he has lost one of them, does not leave the 99 in the open country and go after the one that is lost until he finds it? And when he has found it, he lays it on his shoulders, rejoicing. And when he comes home, he calls together his friends and neighbors, saying to them, 'Rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep that was lost.' Just so I tell you, there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over the 99 righteous persons who need no repentance." Because you had to go chase them down. You had to go further away. It's always the troublemakers that end up being the most memorable. And I think that's why we do a pretty good job at being memorable out there, because we're all the studio is filled with troublemakers. But imagine that if you had sheep, and then you had the one that just kind of ran away. Wouldn't you leave the 99 to go get that one that's ran away and go out into the open country and go chase them down? Or we just go, "Oh, I've still got 99. Not likely, right? Because you've invested money, you've invested time.
It's an odd number too.
I'd probably fix the hole in the fence, and then figure the rest out. This is
shot collars.
You leave to go get the one, you come back, 30 more have escaped through the hole because you were so focused on the one. No.
You brought up a good point there, James. With he's a solid shot collar on the one.
There you go.
No, just do it to them all. Once one rebels, they all rebel.
They're all in sequence, so one gets out and it shocks every one of them.
Exactly.
So if he were God, his wrath would be much worse.
Mighty.
So the one that gets away, there's actually another story about a sheep in the Bible that gets away, and the shepherd actually breaks the legs of the sheep to teach him a lesson, and then nurses the sheep back to health. Like, "You're mine, you belong to me." And that's what God does with us when we stray too far away. And I know that in a past conversation that would seem like a hard concept for when me and you, Alan, actually, when I talked about that, but now I think that's in a better picture now.
It makes Misery make more sense too. That movie Misery makes a lot more sense now. You just
Misery.
Break the legs and now you own it, right? Like, you get a writer in your house, you break his legs, and then you own him.
Sure.
And now he writes for you.
Ownership is 90% of the law.
So. Is that how that works? Right? No? Am I off? Am I off base, guys? Drop it in the comments. I don't know what's up here.
I can't even see Laura's reaction on the other side of the.
Okay. Excellent.
Probably asleep over there.
She does do that a lot.
Seen it.
Her
Seen
face
it.
is really red because she's
It's
really
okay.
slumped.
Okay, she's up. She's
awake. Where is it?
We done called her out. Now she's going to be mad at us.
Just mad at me. You guys are okay.
Good.
I got broad shoulders. I can handle it. But speaking of those who have gone away and been and come back home, this is another story here. The prodigal son. Remember with the prodigal son, James? Vaguely. Okay. This is a parable that Jesus taught, and it's also Luke chapter 15, verses 11 through 32. So this will be a little lengthier here. And he said, "There was a man who had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, 'Father, give me the share of property that is coming to me.' And he divided his property between them. Not many days later, the younger son gathered all that he had, and took a journey into a far country, and there he squandered his property in reckless living. And when he had spent everything, a severe famine arose in the country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country, who sent him into his fields to feed pigs. And he was longing to be fed with the pods that the pigs ate, and no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, 'How many of my father's hired servants have more than enough bread, but I perish here with hunger. I will arise and go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me as one of your hired servants. And he arose and came to his father, just like we go to God, right? And he says, but while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt compassion, and ran and embraced him and kissed him. The son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, bring quickly the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet, and bring the fatted calf and kill it, and let us eat and celebrate. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to celebrate. Now his older son was in the field, and he came and drew near to the house. He heard music and dancing, and he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. And he said to him, your brother has come, and your father has killed the fatted calf, because he has received him back safe and sound. But he was angry and refused to go in. His father came out and treated him, but he answered his father, look, these many years I have served you, and I never disobeyed your command. Yet you never gave me a young goat that I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours, who has devoured your property with prostitutes, you killed the fatted calf for him. And he said to him, Son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. It was fitting to celebrate and be glad, for this your brother was dead and is alive. He was lost and is found. So I think this story probably sounds really familiar to us in the way that we go to our Heavenly Father for forgiveness, right? And we're accepting that grace. We get that, and then there's people that's outside of that. And they see that, and they're like, "Wait a minute, I'm a good person. Don't I get to go to heaven too?" That's the way I see it being practical for today. Is the idea that people they don't understand that it was just that easy, like James said, to just get that forgiveness, and so they're a little foiled in their mind about, and maybe a little angry that, hey, I thought I was a good person. I've been doing good all my life. But then they hadn't taken that extra step to humble themselves before God and say, okay, I need to give myself over. And that's what he did. I mean, he went to his father and said, I am not worthy. And that's when his father embraced him. So that's what we've got to do. And that's how we get God's forgiveness. And that's what it means. So we don't want to be we don't want to be that older son in that story for sure. We don't want to be envious of others. We want to be the one accepting Christ. And I thank God that everyone in this studio right now has got that.
I mean, I'm just thinking about the people who worked for him. He's like, hey, hire me. I want to work like them. And he's like, throw them in the best. And all the servants are like, wait a second. Whoa, wait a second. Let's roll this back a minute. We had extra help a second ago. And now we're putting a ring and a nice little thing on him. And now I got to go kill the fatted calf. And now we got to prepare stuff. Like, we had extra help a second ago. This is ridiculous. And then half of them are like, man, I wish I had somebody in my family to pass me all that stuff, didn't bring me on back.
It sounds like a whole lot of envy.
Right? I'm just saying, like, you watch the guy squander, and now you had extra help, and now he gets decked. Now maybe he wants to be treated like all the other workers, and I'm just saying I don't want to work there if he's going to come up and kiss me. Okay, don't want my boss. He's like, treat me like your workers. Nope, good. I'm not working here anymore.
Affection is definitely different for different families, I'm sure.
Well, I'm just saying that's his work. He said treat me like the workers. Yeah. I don't care how many workers he has. I don't want my boss coming up and kissing me. That's just weird.
It would be strange.
What if he was French?
I wouldn't be there in the first place.
Yeah, that'd be really uncomfortable. All those Christmas parties.
Right? No, I'm good.
European, come and get your both cheeks.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Might even give you one of the nose too on the process of going back from left to right.
Nope. Not coming to the company party.
So, did we? Is that a pretty good, fair assessment of the prodigal son and God's forgiveness? Or we have some things to add to that? Or
Sterling has something to add.
Don't
you, Sterling?
He's stirring over there. I can see it.
he's a deep thinker.
I mean, trying to take the devil's advocate, I guess, if you will, of the brother. I mean, I would have said the same thing. Like, I've done everything for you that you wanted. I've been here for you. But the picture of it, you have to once again take that pride out of it, is he was there for his father. He was there. He's going to get everything. So that you've already gained heaven and like a, I don't know, different aspect of it. You've already got heaven. You've got eternal life. You're here with me. You get to celebrate eternal life. You get to celebrate no more pain, no more, like that kind of part of it. When a brother or a sister comes back, when it may take, I don't know if it's maybe just a journey thing. It's like how far along you are in your spiritual walk. But where I'm at now is when a brother's like, let's just take Cameron, for example. We all know Cameron's story. When he came back, like that was, I mean, was I mad? Absolutely. That he had been gone for so long, but it was more important to me for him to be back and have that possibility of getting closer to God again and him wanting to get closer to God again. Like it's just a whole different feeling. Like all the envy or the pride or the ego or whatever just goes right out the window. Like, let me just love you.
Yeah. You just want to celebrate that time.
Yeah.
Sterling.
Yes, sir.
You and your sibling.
Mm-hmm.
You're both promised Ferraris.
Uh-huh.
Your sibling takes the Ferrari.
Yeah.
Crashes the Ferrari.
Okay.
Comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Eyeballs your Ferrari.
Yeah.
Your Ferrari gets sold.
Mm-hmm.
Now each of you have a Buick.
I've got a car.
That's true.
It gets me from point A to point B.
That's very true.
Plus, the seating in the Buick is going to be a lot more comfortable.
And
honestly.
the insurance on that Ferrari,
yeah.
I'll take the Buick.
the
Give me a
today's
bicycle
rates.
for
Yeah,
real.
today's
I may
rates,
sell the
insurance.
Buick at this point. Just get a bicycle. I mean,
the taxes.
Just saying.
You're living out your car.
You're like,
Not taking
Dad,
a lot of room.
Dad, I want to wreck my own Ferrari. I don't want to split my Ferrari with my Ferrari wrecking brother.
yeah, that's true. Especially if it's like stick shift. I mean, you can just take it. I don't want to.
That's fine.
Okay.
But then you could have sold it. Now you have a Buick.
Oh well.
And he has a Buick,
Does
but
it-
he already wrecked a Ferrari.
Does it have air conditioning? That's all that matters.
He now
I guess.
he now has the same thing you have, except a really cool story about how you wrecked a Ferrari.
Well, you still had the both same thing. You both
True.
had
I see
Buicks.
what you're saying. I get it. So those comeback stories, which is what Josh was saying, those make impacts for sure. But if you turn it around,
Yeah, when you wreck a car, it does make an impact.
it really does.
It really does.
I mean, I could speak from personal experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone.
Boom.
Like that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I mean, I don't know where we're at on time. That was pretty much all I had to go on. Where are we on time, Laura? 35 minutes. Okay, yeah. So
we're in there.
in the
Good.
We're in there.
portion.
So talking about making impacts, we're in the family portion. So yeah, did you have a kind of a place where you wanted to be, or did you want to talk about what was going on with you? Or I mean, I really hate to make every family episode about one of us attempting to die.
I
But-
heard toilet paper was involved, right?
And,
We were talking about toilet paper.
We're talking about rough times and toilet paper.
There we go.
yeah.
Brother James and I share death stories here.
Yes.
And then Sterling? No, Sterling. We're going to go back over here.
It's safer.
You want to
You
dive into that
raspy.
a little bit, James, about why your week you had a long week.
Long week. Longest.
Oh, you slept through so much of it.
Well, 3 days of it. 3 days. I don't know what you really call sleep, I guess it's called. So I can attest to you.
Oh, your dad, your mom and dad are going to yell at me for saying that.
I can attest to you now. Anybody out there who doesn't believe, you must believe. There is a heaven. I have seen the light. So the story begins last Friday on a fishing trip with a good friend of mine. Known this man for roughly 10 plus years. He's like another brother to me, much older. I'm one of those people who get along with the older generation anyway. I'm an old soul, just trapped in the wrong generation.
Amen.
So, yeah. So the fishing trip started out nice, wonderful. Didn't catch much, caught small fish. Come back from the gas station to get his family some food. I get a little tired. I sit down, I look at him, I say, I'm a little exhausted. It just hits me all of a sudden. I remember looking at him. I sat down, had a nice little rocky ledge sitting on it. My first thought was when I sat down, I'm going to get bit by a copperhead or maybe a black widow or something. Something's going to bite me when I sit down. Well, after that thought of telling him I'm exhausted all of a sudden, that's when everything broke loose. Passed out. Don't remember much after that. My friend tells me that he immediately rushes over. I've collapsed. I've already hit my head on the rocks. My legs go up underneath me. I'm apparently nonstop vomiting. I'm not aware of any of this. He's over there turning me on my side, scooping throw up out of my mouth with his bare hands. So this is a person who's one of the two people who helped save my life that day. So the story goes on of laying out there, my legs underneath me for I don't know how long, unconscious. Wake up a couple times, I believe, to throw up some more. Sorry, it's so, nasty.
It's nasty.
Very nasty.
I'm happy you joined in.
But I get a boat ride, I guess, from the shore I was on to the dry dock to be transported to the hospital. By then, I believe that the ambulance has cut off all my clothes. I'm being transported to a hospital in Putnam County, and this is where person number 2 comes in to save my life. So after I've been jabbed multiple times by this hospital, speaking of being drilled for blood because they can't get no blood out of me, being still unconscious.
Why being so stingy? Give up some blood.
Exactly.
All the dehydration.
I know.
Very dehydrated.
Yeah, I know.
Very, very bad day.
He took a fishing pole to go catch a heat stroke.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what it was. But person number 2 steps in, which is my wife. This is all being told to me. I don't remember none of this. After them jabbing me, like I guess what you kind of do when you shoot a deer, fake deer with an arrow over and over again, kind of like that. Well, that's kind of what they were doing to me, just trying to find something in there. So she steps in and says, we need to transfer him out of here ASAP, or else he is going to die. And I don't know when the first time I died, but I did die twice on this journey. The first time I remember seeing my great-grandmother, which is my granny. She came to me, just touches my arm. I remember her hand grabbing my side of my elbow and trying to pick me up and say, come on. And then I remember waking up for a split second and just kind of woke up for a split second, and then I passed back out. But I didn't see a really bright light then. But so in the process of being airlifted to Lifeline to Methodist Hospital, where they actually were able to take good care of me. Doctors were already lined up.
His first helicopter ride, by the way.
Very first helicopter
Hey,
ride.
congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah. Those are fun.
I've
Well
had
done.
airplane
Well done.
rides, but not helicopter. It just sucks I was, unconscious. Couldn't experience it.
Did they tell you about it?
And no, they didn't tell me about it. I was going to ask the pilot. I did get to watch him across my room for multiple nights after I got transported to another room. But
That guy was up there.
yeah, he's probably up there. I want to thank him for saving my life. But
Maybe he's watching.
who knows? But putting in the room where my wife works, multiple doctors know who I am or aware that I'm coming. So they start to immediately work on me. I'm hooked up to multiple wires in my brain, multiple wires on my chest. At this point, I believe I've stopped breathing multiple times. They stick breathing tubes down my throat. They stick a stomach pump down my throat, trying just to cover all bases because they're not getting no response to me what happened. So And the end of all this, I believe number 2 death came, and I seen my grandmother, which is my mom's mom. I actually seen her walk up to me, very bright light. And it was the point of where she says, "Come with me where we're going. There's no more pain." So I immediately start getting up and I start walking. Well, I think by that point, as I'm naming my Mount Rushmore of grandparents, 2 of them are still very alive and kicking. But back to the story. So I take a few steps, and then all of a sudden the light disappears. So that's what I think I might have came to again. The picture that I seen of myself laying there in the hospital bed, which I finally got to see, was very, very, I don't know the word to really look for it. Unnerving. Seeing yourself lay there. It's kind of like an outer body experience after being dead, knowing that you died, and you're standing there looking at this picture saying, "Wow, was that really you?" And then now you're up and walking, in a coma for almost 3 days. Yeah, so there's still a lot of stuff going on with me. Continuing on, day 1, actually waking up, could not walk, had no feeling really in my back down. So they were worried about me being paralyzed because I was on top of my legs for so long, being passed out. But other than that, I guess other people can say they've had rougher weeks, I guess. I don't know how much rougher you can get than that.
I don't either.
But I spent a total of 6 days in the hospital, and still healing from a lot of it, still in a lot of pain, as my voice does not sound like this normally. It's very raspy.
Yeah.
I know when I called you the other day, you were in the background. It sounded even deeper than it does now.
Oh, yeah.
You were like, I'm like,
Yeah, he was Barry White in it.
Yeah.
Is he awake? What all do they have him on right now?
Yeah, it's very hard. I can say that there is at least a heaven. If you don't want to believe in heaven and hell, I can tell you that there's at least a heaven. I didn't see the pearly gates, but I did see the light, and I did see 2 of my grandparents who are deceased, and 2 very important grandparents in my life. So, why it was them of all people, I don't know, but those were the 2 that came and tried to welcome me into the pearly gates twice on that journey.
Yeah, it kind of like when you said something about that in the hospital, it was really hard not to like break down and think about that, because I mean, Grandma was fairly recent. It was 2019.
Yep.
And so,
and Granny has been
it's been 2 years,
been some time. Yeah.
And yeah, so it would make sense that the further away, right, for her, and then Grandma a little closer, but just the fact that she said she was standing there, like that means a lot. Knowing that she's doing good, because the idea that for the last 10 years of her life, it was mostly wheelchair bound. Like so I mean, you got a confirmation from the other side. You got to, and if nothing else, to see Grandma, and then know that she's okay and that she's walking. And then you get to come out the other side and come back and deal with all of us.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Come back to the real world. Come back to the world that's not in the best of shape.
Yeah.
But knowing that apparently my time is not up here, I do have a 14-year-old daughter. She is my world. So, so it's just a matter of staying alive for her and making sure that she's okay the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can make that possible.
Little Miss Peyton. Yep.
Yeah.
And and I know that you're a good father. You do a good job.
I try.
We got some good fathers in this room.
2 for Tuesday, buddy. 2 for Tuesday.
even though you guys would trade them for the 2 for Tuesday.
Yeah, I'd probably trade back at some point.
I don't think they'd want it back.
I don't care. Okay.
It's probably in a condition that they
A really good steak, maybe a really nice big steak,
Right?
just perfectly cooked, juicy, seasoned up. Yeah, maybe.
That Ferrari you keep talking about?
You get the first bite in, you're like, now I feel guilty.
Exactly.
I should probably here take this back.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
You guys got one of those things from like Men in Black where you can just flashy thing me and make me forget that I've done this.
I wish I could forget about that. That's something I wish I could forget about, but that's one of the things I do have memory loss. I've noticed this, so it's been really hard lately to remember a lot of things. I've developed that. Don't know if I've developed seizures. I was having seizures during this process, so that's something new for me. Other than that, I was relatively healthy on my track of losing multiple pounds. I lost 20 pounds while being dead. Who would have known that the secret of losing weight was being dead? Who would have known that? But yeah, 20 pounds in 6 days, that's a lot of weight. A lot of weight.
Very quickly.
I mean, it could have really told you something if like you lost 20 pounds, but then when you came back to life, you gained it. So like we know a soul weighs 20 pounds. Like you left and came out.
No, because I know what I weighed before I went to the hospital. When I caught out, I would kind of weigh myself. So I was curious. I was like, I'm going to weigh myself, see how much I weigh. And there was a 20 pounds difference.
Yeah, that's about what I was in the hospital for about a week, and I lost about that 20, 25 pounds. Yeah, it was. What do they do there, man?
I think the hospital food.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't on no strict diet or nothing. I was on a regular diet.
Yeah, they were just giving me ice chips.
That's the thing, that the food you just don't want to eat it. That's
they wouldn't even give this man spoons.
It would give me spoons, man. Like I'm in there fighting for my life, and they're like, "We think he's gonna kill himself." I'm like, dude.
Did you have paper in the room?
The room was full of all kinds of utensils. I could have poked something somewhere.
Well, if you had a Bible, you could have paper cut yourself to death, I guess.
They were like, "Yeah, you want yogurt?" I'm like, "Yeah, yogurt would be great." They're like, "You can't have yogurt because it comes with a spoon." You could
yourself.
You could off yourself.
Well, I guess you can gag yourself with a straw, but
I'm like, I'm in a room full of drawers full of all kinds of things. If I want to off myself, first of all, I wouldn't be fighting so hard to get up and walk. Yeah. I'm not getting up to walk to go get something sharp, dude. I'm getting up to walk so I can live.
Yeah. Just roll out of bed. That'd be the easiest way.
Now give me, exactly. Now give me my plastic spoon. I've earned it.
Put it up at the highest point. Just roll off of it.
Pretty much.
I've earned my plastic spoon. But no, I dropped like 20, 25 pounds. What is that all about, man? And you were actually eating it, just the food sucked?
Yeah, it was horrible. The first actually good meal I had was when Josh brought me Chick-fil-A.
Nice.
And
nice.
That was...
he brought me Chick-fil-A too, but he just ate it in front of me. He was like,
that's a lie.
Just kidding.
Two truths and a lie.
Would have been funnier.
Yeah. He was like, hey, brought you. Oh, I saw your diet. You're on a liquid diet. This seems pretty good.
Yeah, you can't have spoons. So.
You can't have spoon. Well, this bag has a spoon in it. I'm taking this whole bag back.
Well, he could have put it in a blender for you, I guess. And, or he could have chewed it up for you and gave it to you bird.
Baby birded me? Baby birded me. Oh.
That's nasty.
That's nasty. Probably still better than hospital food.
Probably was.
Have you seen some of the things that they serve people?
I have, yeah.
Oh, man.
Josh, it's one thing.
Chicken tenders I had did not look like chicken tenders, I tell you that.
Josh, it's one thing to baby bird
they
me.
Looked like they'd already been processed.
Well, that's what about, you lose all that weight. Where do you think you're eating? I mean, they just serve it to somebody else.
Yeah, that's fair.
They just take your weight and serve it to somebody else.
Yes.
The weight of a soul, Alan, though, 21 grams.
21 grams.
Yeah.
Best guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's the scientific theory currently. 21 grams. There was like there's been like a few studies on it, but there's like the immediate after someone passes 21 grams is the difference.
Oh, okay. So it's not 20 pounds.
No, that's just due to hospital
I for
food.
sure lost 20 pounds.
Yeah, I'm sure he definitely appreciated it because
they might have actually sucked some extra fat out when they were sucking my stomach out. I guess I don't know. It could have been helpful.
But man, I remember what I ordered for you too. It was number 7 because it was the grilled chicken with bacon, and I was like, he's gonna love this because he's been chowing down on nothing but terrible hospital
food.
The
only thing was good was the fruit cup. That was it. That was it.
Yeah, from them. Yeah,
the fruit cup was it. Cottage cheese wasn't too bad.
Oh, at the hospital?
Yeah,
the last day they were like, you have to prove to us you can eat. So I was like, fruit cup. Well, because I couldn't, that was all jacked up. And so they were like, you got to prove to us you can eat. And I'm like, all right, I'll take a fruit cup and yogurt. And they're like, well, send the fruit cup. You can't have the yogurt because you can't have the spoon. I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, you have to have a nurse get a hold of us and send down a form saying that you're not going to kill yourself with the spoon.
You just ask the nurse to feed you the...
Well, they wouldn't send it. They wouldn't even send it.
Oh, yeah, dude. When I went to visit him, they brought him up three little things of apple juice and a styrofoam bowl of yogurt. No spoon. No straw.
I folded it and just tipped it back.
He tacoed it.
But then when I tried to get yogurt later, they were like, we can't send yogurt because it requires a spoon. I'm like, no, I can prove to you it doesn't require a spoon.
Their fear was a spoon, but you could have drowned yourself in the yogurt.
In the yogurt, right? I'm kicked back. I'm laying in, right? I could have just stuffed the styrofoam in my...
Shoved it in your face, pie style.
And just done it. Yeah. Just done myself in.
He picks up the bowl, James, and he goes like this. He goes, what is this? Huh? What is this? And he squeezes it and watches these two. We're just going to...
The fruit cup was good, though.
That's the only thing that's good. Only thing. Only thing.
I'll know next time if I ever have to go to the hospital.
So, yeah, when we come visit you...
12 fruit cups.
When we come visit you with Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. You better be bringing me some. I like them grilled nuggets, man.
Those grilled nuggets are fire.
Yeah. With the Chick-fil-A sauce. They're not a sponsor, by the way, but, man, that Chick-fil-A sauce is good.
Because I've had a lot of grilled nugget combos lately with fruit cups, and their fruit cups are amazing, too. It's like, that's what I've been eating a bunch of, so... But anyway, beyond trying to get Chick-fil-A some business on every day but Sunday. For everybody watching this on Saturday, you better get there.
Other than visiting my brother in the hospital and trying to make sure that he's okay, here at home.
Oh, this is the transition.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, we had a pretty crappy situation.
No.
That's the best way to put it.
No, we're not doing this. Go ahead.
So not to go too far into detail, but we did. I own a bidet.
All right. Now the world knows.
Yes,
so girly.
I own a bidet.
So girly.
You could say it's girly, man, but don't knock it till you try it. I'm telling you.
I will say a heated seat is pretty amazing. Now the rest of it,
I don't like the heated seat.
You don't.
No.
You're like, I want to feel like I'm sitting on tile. Yes. Like morning, like 6 a.m. tile is what I want to feel like I'm sitting on.
I don't need my butt sweating when I'm sitting there.
You can set the temperature on this one.
I don't
you can
need
set it on this new one. But the old one had broke. The seat had broke on it, and they won't let you just replace the seat. You have to buy the whole shebang. So
shebang. Yeah, there we
go. So I went with a different brand because I was like, well, I'll try a new brand.
More firepower.
No, not necessarily more firepower. Just a new brand, and I was just gonna give them a shot because it was the price tag.
It's gonna give you a shot. That's what a bidet does.
Yeah. They do, and it's actually quite nice to be clean.
It's 2,400 psi. It gets there.
It might actually rinse your mouth for you.
Yeah, the backs of his teeth are great right now. Just good.
You can set the rinsing power as well. It's got different settings.
I don't remember eating that.
Even massaging. So
he takes it outside and washes. He cleans his deck with it. Actually, it's pretty impressive.
Power washer.
That's what I'm saying. 2,400 psi. Just takes the paint off. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Anyhow,
how are you alive?
We after I installed that sucker, it didn't work.
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
Oh no!
I'm sure you plugged it in.
Oh, dude, I had everything just the way the instructions said to do it. And I was the only one who apparently had received one of these. They had never had a complaint before. And I was like, well, this one doesn't work. I'm telling you. I said, I know how to install a bidet. I've installed them.
Batteries.
No, it plugs directly in. It's got an outlet on it. But the remote did need batteries, but we had batteries in the house, so we took care of that. But because it did have a wireless remote, that was the other selling point on that one.
You're sitting on it.
Exactly. Why would you need a wireless remote?
Unless
sitting on it.
Unless
somebody else is
sitting
on it.
I was gonna say Laura's in there sitting down, minding her own business. He hits the bidet.
You're gonna reach for the remote. It's gone. You're like, "Where's the remote?"
Because on the old one, the remote was attached to the seat, and you always had to look back. It was kind of inconvenient after a while. But
this is not awkward at all.
Not awkward at all.
Wonderful.
Oh man,
welcome to Faith, Family, and Politics.
Things you install in your home. That's okay.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
And so
the bidet was done.
And I wanted it was done, and so I had to return it. I was upset, and I put it in the midterms there. I installed a regular toilet seat.
Oh man,
tragic.
Yeah. Oh, that explains the toilet seat sitting next to the toilet. Okay.
Yeah.
Seems that's why you stepped down from the host mic. I see you came down with us. You came down from the clouds with us here.
Very very clean. I gotta assure you that thing's got a dryer on it too. It's awesome.
Oh my, no. No.
It does this,
No. Sorry.
and it's a heated dryer too.
I can't.
It's quite comfy.
Nope.
We at time yet? Is the show over, please?
I don't want anything blowing anywhere towards that region. I'm sorry.
You would think so, because I thought so too until I tried it, and I was like, oh, that's actually nice.
Nope. I don't care if I'm 100 years old and I couldn't reach back there. I would just rather be dirty.
I'm gonna use the wireless remote the next time you're in there.
Nope.
Hey, it's only weird if it sounds like a jug being blown through the rest of the house. Okay, buddy?
Yeah.
Like, that's the only time it's weird.
You're like, wait a minute. We're not by the ocean. What's going on out there?
Nope.
Ship passing by.
So anyway, after installing that regular one, I quickly realized I missed having a bidet, so I couldn't stand it. I couldn't wait. So I went ahead and just reused the money that I'd spent and returned from returning the old one, and got this other one. I went back with the same brand we had before. This one also has a wireless remote, but it actually has more bells and whistles than the one that I had previously bought. So
choo choo.
Yeah.
It looks like a camper potty. I'm sorry. I walked in there and I go, that is very small. It looks like a camper potty.
It's a round toilet. Yeah.
That's
because they come in because toilets come in two styles: the round shape and then they have the oval shape. When we bought this house, it came with a round shaped toilet, so we just kept it.
You just need a squatty potty.
You just threw a booty.
I actually had one of those, and I didn't care for it.
He just plugged up the Booty Flush 5000.
Or is it the booty brush?
No, I don't know. That's
it's a spiraling brush that goes straight across. That's absurd. That's absurd.
Brush your teeth in. Brush your teeth.
That would be awkward.
Your colon and everything all the way up.
Oh man,
Spiral of doom.
God, I can visualize it. It's so bad. It's so bad.
It only makes my esophagus hurt much more. Just thinking of something, a wired brush going all that, just spinning all the way to the back of my mouth.
I was just thinking one of those scrubber brushes that it just. Never mind. Oh, Laura's done with the show. She is done.
Oh, she's gonna go use the bidet.
Speaking of
the restroom.
Oh, man.
Make sure you use the air blower. Let me know how it is.
Potty in style, babe. Potty in style. You know how it is.
A leaf blower.
Yeah. All I hear is envy. That's all I hear.
that's
Well,
right.
it's definitely what
When you're in the bathroom and you're not taking a shower and you hear a hairdryer going, and you're like, what's going on here?
Is it getting thrown in on me, or is someone using the
bidet.
Exactly.
Could be
the Booty Wash 5000?
You tried to upgrade to the 6000 and it broke, so.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I have good assurance that I'm clean, man. That's what matters.
Hey, that's great, man. I'm happy.
Come back with like a money back guaranteed if you're
Like
not.
the little
Like
Charmin
I said,
bear,
I can
cha-cha-cha.
I can invest in the heated seat. But I remember the very first time I came over and Josh was like, "You need to use that." And I'm like, "Shit, no, that's not happening. That's not happening." And I went old school, but I was like, "This heated seat's really nice." And the next time he's like, "I'm telling you, man, you really need to use that bidet." And I was like, "Fine, whatever." I hit the button, and that is painfully accurate. I don't mean painfully, but I was like, "Dude, there's no way. There's no way. This is not a one size fit all kind of thing, right?" Like it was like, "Ooh, no, that's not cool. That's not cool. That's not cool."
Yeah, I didn't like I got to test the heated seat one time, and it was not pleasant. I said, "How do I turn this thing off? It's hot in here. I don't want to be hot going to the bathroom. I'm sorry."
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, so that was my positive thing this week. Actually,
That was cool.
you razzed me for it, but that's okay.
Hey, it's all good. Sterling, you have anything?
I can't follow that.
You can't follow that.
There's nothing to follow that.
Oh, come on,
Toilet
man.
paper is two-sided, so you have to come with the other side. Two-ply.
What's the reverse of a bidet?
What's
A vacuum cleaner?
It does that too. You just don't know yet.
You don't have no idea.
If you're having problems,
Yeah.
getting it out, then it could just. Yeah, exactly. Just a little tube comes up and.
It's a weight loss machine. Yeah, I don't know.
No? You're good?
Nothing really.
Nothing. Nothing.
Same
You
old,
don't
same
want
old.
to. You don't want to follow up death in a bidet.
I don't want to follow death of a day.
That's a new on 1,000 Ways to Die.
Yeah, the death on a bidet.
Yeah, exactly.
2,400 psi. That'll get to you. That'll get you there.
It'll waller you out pretty good.
He used Waller. I love it.
I think
you want to move
I
on?
don't know where we're at on time.
I
She
have
didn't tell us before she
no
went out.
idea. I assume since we were already 5 minutes over that we've at least blasted through 25 minutes.
That was a good dad joke.
Yeah, well, I do what I can.
Okay, yeah, we're at perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Uh-oh, here we go.
Perfect time.
Here
with
we
the
go.
dodo.
I do want to say one thing less, or one thing more.
Yeah.
Comparing the light tunnel that comes down. I don't know if I can movie drop an old school movie here. Michael J. Fox. A lot of people know The Frighteners. The kind of the light that came down when people died and lifted the soul up. That's kind of how the light was, except for a lot more extremely bright. It was very blinding. It really was. So I can only imagine. Yeah, it's full of bidets. This is like the torture tunnel up to the pearly gate. That's what it was. This is what you're expecting at the pearly gate is just a
giant
heated toilets and toilets that take care of you nonstop. in your mansion as you walk the Golden Road. So
Hey, as long as they're singing and playing good music.
no,
Yeah.
sorry.
That's the next step, James, is getting one that has the seat raises as you walk towards it, and it's
Nope.
just welcome.
Nope. I don't need something that talks to me. Sorry. That starts flapping at you and like that. Yeah.
It's kind of funny you tell me the guy, a friend of mine he told me, not a friend, new guy we hired at work. He's not my friend yet. I don't like the guy. No, I'm just kidding. He's all right. But
Twins.
he worked in Dubai. And the very first time he went to use the restroom as a contractor in Dubai, it was pressure sensitive. So when he started to get up off the seat, the bidet kicked on.
Oh.
There was no option. You didn't press the button. It was happening. And you were just on the ride. Never mind. Anyway, speaking of toilets, the economy's in a toilet right now.
It is.
Biden defends Bidenomics
Nice segue.
after inflation ticks up in July. This is coming from the Washington Examiner. Let's go ahead and just dig in here, just like a bidet does. And
Giving nothing but bidet jokes now.
2400 PSI.
gets in there. Annual inflation has fallen by around 2/3 since last summer, and inflation outside of food and energy has fallen to its lowest level in any 3-month period since September 2021, the president said. We've made this progress while maintaining the broad strength of our economy. I didn't throw enough unemployment.
They're quoting him as that, but I'm sure that's not how it came out.
No,
Probably asking about some kind of ice cream or cookie or something.
Unemployment just reminds me of chocolate chips and leg hair. Unemployment remains near record lows. A higher share of working age Americans are working now. They don't tell you how many underage kids are working now because they have to support their parents because the wages are so low.
They're usually illegal.
Yeah, right. Working now than in 20 years. Real wages for the average American worker are growing and are higher than they were before the pandemic. Okay. Sure. With lower wage workers seeing the largest gains. Oh, that's cool. When you make less money, you're seeing more money now.
You get lower taxes.
Right. We're growing the economy from the middle out and bottom up.
What?
Lowering costs. Yes, from the bottom up. That's your bidet.
That sounds like a regular toilet seat to me.
Lowering
Pretty filthy.
That's the brush.
lowering costs for hardworking families and making smart investments in America. That's Bidenomics, he added. Biden has been in Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah and didn't know at all that he left his bedroom this week to promote the Inflation Reduction Act, his signature social and climate spending law, before its first anniversary next Wednesday. Republicans reacted to the report by highlighting the cumulative impact of inflation even as numbers have trended down. Since Biden took office, prices are up 16.9% and real wages are down by about 3%. Republican National Committee spokesman Jake Schneider said that's bad. See, that's what's so awful about our social situation. I said spokesperson before I actually read spokesman. Jake Schneider said, that's bad news for Americans who already have little faith in Biden's ability to handle the economy with competence. You just had to say competence. Monthly inflation was 0.2%, and core inflation, which excludes food and energy prices, was 4.7% in the year ending in July. I have never seen a year ending in July.
Yeah.
Always ends in December.
Usually, yeah.
Well, it's probably a fiscal year.
I'm just messing with you, man. It's fine. Don't be so serious. Get your booty washed. Smile with me.
I did, and I'm clean. I'm good.
And now you're smiling.
Be super clean.
I'm happy.
Super clean.
So, yeah. Numbers are not on Biden's side, whether it be the economy or his age. But what are you guys thinking about this?
It can't be true.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Really?
numbers don't lie, yeah. Don't believe your lying eyes is what he's saying. Yeah.
Can't be true. Prove it.
Don't believe those Biden eyes? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
he was Biden eyes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you're looking at something through Biden eyes, it's probably not.
It's probably a small
Maybe
child.
because it looks like that because he's got a lot of ice cream. Maybe he's still looking
It's-
for chocolate chip ice cream.
Or I just assume he's seeing a lot of that bright light. Like it's just.
Could be
Sorry.
Well, I'm gonna
that or he's seeing a lot of small figures because he's looking for a lot of small children.
Yes.
something for him to sniff. Oh boy.
He's making sure he's had COVID probably, so he's making sure his sniffer still works. That's all that
But
it is.
he did. He's had it 3 times.
He's just making sure his sniffer still works. That's all it is.
That's fair. That's fair.
Testing it on child's
Exactly.
scalps
That's what
for
you
some
gotta
reason.
do. Sometimes it's what you got to do. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right?
But I know that.
And your point, do.
I know that economically speaking, anecdotally speaking,
That word.
yeah, for myself, and I think for a lot of people, even included here, is that you've noticed that you can't buy as much as you used to with the same amount of money.
Oh no.
I mean, I like how they try to, you good, Journey? You want to?
She's
Jingle bells.
a little bit of a.
She's
a little
practicing
early.
for Christmas.
Hey, great rhythm. I really appreciate that.
She's 4 months
She's
shy.
looking around like, oh, you've shamed me on camera.
It's okay, Journey.
She's gonna whine about it now.
I'm here.
I like how they separate certain categories, right? And this happens both sides of the aisle all the time. Okay, Mike, what's up? Happens all the time on both sides of the aisle. They separate and they go, okay, well, we're going to pick and choose. Hey, the economy is blah, except for in these 2 categories, aside from food, we're doing pretty great. Hey, aside from food, electricity, and gasoline, those things that you're using all the time, we're doing pretty solid.
Well,
Yeah.
I can tell you this now: it's not doing solid. When you have being part of the LTL industry and watching a company that's been around for almost 100 years, which is months short of being 100-year anniversary, go under all of a sudden, and tons of workers losing their jobs or pensions, not getting nothing for working there. For,
Is that yellow?
Yep,
30,000.
YRC. Yeah, all the connections there. They lost a lot of money, and a lot of workers were very mad. People 30+ years didn't see any money because it all got washed away. And that right there is a proven thing. If a company like that, as big as it was, in this industry, the main industry that distributes all the goods across America, goes under and can't revive itself after we just had this big bailout how many years ago?
08, yeah.
So
Housing crisis. Yeah.
So now you're looking at how many more industries or companies are going to go under in that certain industry, and who's going to supply your goods? How much more money is it going to cost to go buy something like a gallon of milk? You go to Hawaii and a gallon of milk is probably like $10 a gallon.
Well, it's currently on fire.
Well,
The milk's on fire.
true.
The cows are on fire. The people drinking the milk in the commercial are on fire.
Maybe they should use Josh's bidet and put it out.
Yeah.
Streamline.
But you got to think it's going to get to that. I think at some point in time where it's going to be so expensive, only the rich can survive and the poor die. And that's what they want. That's how they're going to control the population. That's how they're going to try to reset America. That's how they're going to reset the world. That's their accomplishment of taking back over what was rightfully taken from them. So that's how you got to look at it, as this is their extermination plan without telling you it's their extermination plan.
Yeah.
What I find really fascinating,
2030 stuff.
thinking about 30,000 jobs being lost in the trucking industry, and thinking about how we were in such a situation just a year and a half ago, where they were talking about not giving, but allowing younger people to get their CDLs, because we needed drivers. We needed drivers so bad. That was where we were getting crunched because we couldn't get goods into the country. And then when we got the goods in the country, then it was piling up because there weren't drivers to take it and distribute it through the country. And now we're looking at a company that's losing that's closing, and we're losing 30,000 jobs. Granted, they weren't all drivers.
Nope.
There's a lot of other jobs associated with that, but 30,000 jobs in a field where we were begging people and saying, you know what, we're going to give you the opportunity to get this license earlier because we need these people. And that's absurd to me.
And you can't forget the strike, the big strike that just happened a few years ago with all the truckers that, wanted to be respected a certain way, wanted a certain thing. So you got to put that in that little category too of
stop the wheels, stop the tires.
And that right there, we all felt it for 3 days when they stopped. I mean, that was a huge bang, at least here in America, that, where goods were getting processed, and being a part of that industry, watching, not knowing my job is still secure. That was a very scary time.
Well, and then the next step is, because goods aren't getting to places, or when they do, they're extremely expensive. The next thing is we're gonna start seeing food shortages. That's the
like the food gets short, like the crops.
Short, yes. Well, actually, that is happening too. A lot of these companies out there, they're actually selling you their name brand thing with a smaller amount, but for the same price they've always sold it for, and you don't notice it because it's little by little they keep
shrinkflation.
All you gotta do is look at Walmart's shelves and grocery stores now, and a lot of them are empty.
Yeah. When you see like what he's saying is like, you used to get a 12-ounce soda, now you get a 10-ounce soda.
Oh yeah.
So they just took the same product.
Think places like, what was it, Japan or China, they don't drink soda at all. So you got to think something like that. You think there would be a shortage of that, right?
And it just, I don't know. Do you have any input here? I didn't want to I'm looking this way, and I always feel bad because I'm not referencing you here, Sterling.
My stepdad worked in the Drunky company. I don't know if it was the same one or not, but they shut down his whole entire plant. So I'm assuming it was probably along those lines. You know
what really now granted, a company shut down like that will definitely stop the trucking, but one huge thing that would stop trucking is not knowing how to pump gas. And that takes us to our next story here.
About a pump a bidet.
This comes to us
exactly. That's all he needs. It's a 2,400 psi bidet.
Yeah, right. This takes us
that wireless remote. That's what he was hitting. That's really what he was had. He had that wireless remote, and he was kept on hitting it. And it just wasn't working.
He had that wrong brand, man. I'm telling you.
Well, either way, we know trucks may not be going anywhere, but neither is Mike Pence, because critics erupt over cringe Pence campaign video. No clue how to pump gas is what the title is from Fox News. If you guys have seen this, it's pretty pathetic. He's he definitely doesn't look like he knows how to pump gas.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever pumped his gas.
So
he's been a politician, bro.
Oh man,
I don't think he's ever done it in his life.
The things what'd you just say?
I don't think he's ever done it in his life.
Oh yeah, I think he was a teenager. He probably pumped his gas. He probably had a nice car. He probably had a family that had money.
I think he came from a family of privilege. He pulled up and he's.
It could have been. Well, he's so old. It could have. I'm not trying to be rude, but he could have been like the full service ones. Could have been. Yeah. So former vice president and current GOP presidential candidate Mike Pence was blasted by conservatives on social media. By conservatives on social media this week over a video at a gas station that showed him appearing to fill up the tank of a pickup truck while criticizing the Biden administration. Remember $2 gas? I do. The Indiana Republican said to the camera as he worked the gas pump. And then Joe Biden became president of the United States and launched his war on energy. But the video, seen over 1 million times and meant to promote his energy independence plan, was mocked by many on social media who pointed out a beeping noise could be heard in the background that suggested he wasn't actually filling up the tank.
And it's funny that you say $2 gas, because gas was literally, what, $1.87?
$1.87, yep.
What, 5 years ago?
Yep. It was underneath a particular administration that had nothing to do with the vice president.
The best time America has seen in quite some time after all the other recklessness that's been going on. Yeah. The time that people are actually putting money back in their accounts, not worried about having to worry about money, where it's coming from, where it's going out to, not having to budget this, I have to put gas in my car this week, so I can't eat on this day. So, that's pretty funny. That's $2 gas thing. I don't think he remembers when it was $1.87. It was almost, I think it was almost close to $1.50 at one time. You know,
here in Indiana,
it was real close.
120 something.
And then heck, if it had enough points at certain gas stations, you know, you can almost get it down to $1, if not below that. So,
yeah, that hadn't happened since
we haven't seen it
first
below
driving
$1 since we played Pee Wee football. So, and that's a long time ago.
I don't know. When I was 16, I remember getting gas one time for $1. One time, it was normally $1.25, and I got gas for $1 one time. And then, of course, I remember when 9/11 happened and it spiked to $16 that day. I just remember pulling out of there and going, $16 a gallon.
I think by the time I started driving, it was already $3 or $4. I remember after getting married, living in Wanamaker, it was over $5 a gallon. I think it was $6 a gallon at one point in time in Wanamaker. And it was costing me over $100 every time to fill up. I had my Jeep, and it cost $100. I remember that. Just to go back and forth to work.
Yeah, it was during the Obama administration. Yeah.
It got pretty crazy there for a while.
Obadiah?
No.
The Obadiah administration?
Yeah.
It was definitely in the toilet bowl.
You don't want to know what
I don't no, bidet, you can't compare a bidet to that toilet scene. I mean, that was like a dirty toilet that's been in a prison for multiple years, and hundreds of thousands of men have come through it and just ran everything they've had through their guts through that thing. It's never been cleaned. It's like someone just made, hand-style freehand paintings on it.
Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of how
intense.
that was. That's kind of the same thing. Is of course, the Obama administration also included our current president. That's kind of how the same scene is now. They're still fun. They're still playing and making hand paintings on that same toilet.
Right. Look at Josh.
I don't know what to think of that.
They literally covered their hands in dookie. It's just like
such a pretty picture.
This is me over here. This is my chocolate chip ice cream I wanted.
Oh, nope.
Or it was him getting off the plane and the guy directing it. That's still my favorite video.
I'm never
to this
eating
day.
again.
Is this guy literally getting off a plane and then the guy standing there and he's like pointing him this way towards the house and he just keeps on walking and he's like, that's the best.
I think for me that my favorite is Alan actually did a really good short on it. He just goes to like
the ghost handshake.
Yeah, he just goes up and he's like. He like reaches out. There's nobody there. There's clearly nobody around.
Well, maybe
he's just like it.
Him and Tom Brady had something in mind. I mean, I guess he got the ghost high five and get the ghost handshake. Maybe they can come down together. Maybe they can
make something happen. They can.
Cheaters never prosper.
Maybe he needs. I hate to say it. Maybe he needs the GOAT Tom Brady to help him out. I don't know.
I don't see it happening. But
Tom Brady actually likes Trump though.
He needs to.
So what happened now?
He needs to. Teach them some cheating, I guess, or maybe that's Belichick. I'm sorry, that's
Belichick.
Thing. We don't want to
Belichick. Yeah,
we digress.
We'll start a sports show real quick here. So we don't do all that.
So gas.
Yeah, I mean Mike Pence, right? I mean that guy, right? I mean you can't pump gas. Where did we go wrong here? We've definitely gone off the rails.
Well, he ran the state for a few years.
He actually did a decent job.
Yeah, he did a decent job at running the state, but it floors me that. Okay. Thanks. Laura's updating us on time.
I thought she was praising us. It looked like she was praising us. She was like,
we're ready for that.
Like, we're doing a great job.
That the next story here shortly, but it floors me that he doesn't know how to pump gas, but could run a state.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Because we ended up in a surplus during him, but I think he took the Mitch Daniels plan and he just kind of rubber stamped everything Mitch Daniels did before.
You just got to catch what you just said. He could run a state, but he can't pump gas. But we have somebody who's our president who can't run the states and probably can't do anything for himself. Not a thing.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. And
not even change his own diapers at the Vatican. Apparently,
not.
Yeah.
The Vatican. Oh,
I mean,
that's a whole other story. But yeah, we can make a video on it.
And not being able to run the country, there's no doubt about that. But there's one thing there is some doubt about, and that takes us to a third story here. Trump says he won't sign pledge to support GOP nominee.
I won't sign it.
Putting his debate attendance my glasses moved and everything went, here's some more letters for you. His debate attendance in doubt. So let's dive into this. This comes to us from PJ Media. This sounds kind of shady, Josh.
Hey, I got it from Bongino, so we can just give him a shout out. So it's good stuff.
Donald Trump's participation in the first Republican debate on August 23rd in Milwaukee is now in doubt after the former president stated he would not sign the pledge to support the eventual GOP nominee. He's like, if it's not me, I don't believe in it, I'm not going to support him. That's basically what he's saying. Yeah. Why would I sign it? Trump said in an interview on the conservative cable network Newsmax. I can name 3 or 4 people that I wouldn't support for president. So right there's a problem. There's also the problem of complying with the Republican National Committee's rule on debate participation. In addition to meeting fundraising and polling requirements, the rules include the pledge to support the GOP nominee. I affirm that if I do not win the 2024 Republican nomination of President of the United States, I will honor the will of the primary voters and support the nominee in order to save our country and beat Joe Biden, the pledge says. Candidates also must pledge not to run as an independent, write-in candidate, or on a third-party ticket. Trump had already strongly indicated that he wouldn't participate in the first debate, and he has even hinted that he would hold some kind of alternate event. So,
and I hope he does. I hope he holds an alternative event because I think more people will watch Trump's event.
I think for him,
debate.
I think for him in America's eyes, I think that needs to happen just to see the vast numbers. To prove everybody wrong, they need to see the numbers. So if everybody's tuning in to him, seeing his own separate shindig, and then you got the actual debates going on over here, and then the numbers are heavier on his side than there, then you know right there something's already up. People's already tired.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of time when it's going to say enough's enough. It's time to get somebody in there again that can do this right.
Yeah, because he put money back in our pockets.
There's two things I look at on this. First of all, first of all, his strength is in debating, period. I feel like he needs to be on that stage. It paints him in a bad light. It puts him in this.
It makes him look like a baby in an instance.
So there's that. That's one of the 2 points I'm making. One was like, well, if I can't have it, no, I won't support anybody who will, and I don't care what you say. I won't comply to your rules because I am the most important thing in the world, right? So there's that. But then there's also the fact that if you're not going to debate, debating is his strength. Having his own little rally or whatever he wants to do is that this, that, or the other. But the problem is you're going to have diehard fans who are going to watch his special little rally, right? But debating on that stage is where he separates himself from the field.
And I think that'll happen at the next.
Well, debate. I think it's because he's not a puppet. That's the thing. And if you look at it, I was thinking about this on the car ride over today. He's one of the few hasn't been assassinated, that's been a great president and never was a puppet. You got to think all the people who in this world who try to make a change to sometime or another in our time. You got Martin Luther King, Abe Lincoln, people like that who've been assassinated for the things that they were trying to do. JFK, great president. All these besides Martin Luther King, but great man to do what he done in the time. And trying to make a change. They're not puppets. And that's what the government doesn't like. They don't like that he's not a puppet. And of course with, Biden, he's the biggest puppet you can find. He just sits there and no, chews on his tongue and, waves around his little shaky toy and wears his, diaper and whatever else.
I just think in the primaries when they're trying to choose a Republican candidate, he might be hurting himself in this particular situation because not only is he not debating where he is the strongest, because he is the strongest at debating and he separates himself, but he's also allowing his competition to take a stage that's being seen by a lot of independents and things like that can sway a vote. And so I really think that this is something, even though he wants to break the mold and do something his own and set himself apart in this other way, I think this is the wrong way to do it at this stage. I think he needs to debate in those primaries. I think he needs to win those primaries by debating. because if you're going to give your competition a stage where that's actually, you know, he's drawing his own crowd to his thing, right?
Yeah.
But everybody else is going to be looking at this, and now you're not there. You need to be there, and you're the all-star here. You need to be there, and now you're giving them the opportunity to rally people and to actually get to see them better, to get better visualization of what they can do and what they have to say.
I mean, you got to think he's not really got a tough competition to really talk to. I mean,
Yeah, well, and I think that he's like, I'm automatically in the playoffs. I'm just waiting for them to happen.
He's
Well,
at the Super Bowl. He's just waiting for the other guy to go.
But you don't want to be that team that thinks you're in the Super Bowl, right? And you want to play those games and prove them. You want to play that Sunday. So
he does have that 36% number in his advantage right now. I'll tell you this though, during that address, he he did take a dig at Chris Christie, who's also running.
yeah, I saw.
He said Christie couldn't be here. He's too busy eating.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, so I would like to see him on the debate stage. I'm thinking we just have to wait until at least that second debate where some people have dropped off and those numbers could narrow.
I think he'll just step up the first time. I think he'll honestly just go.
It's like a ploy.
Let's just do this. I just think I think it's going to be because you got to think the people who actually care and want to see change. Again, people are always safe. Human race is always safe of familiarity and taking the safe road. So that now that they know that they've seen a dumpster fire, then you've seen someone bring back the dumpster, come out of the dumpster fire, and then now you see a dumpster fire again. They know where the safe place is, so they're going to go back to that safe place. And that's what a lot of people want. And of course, everybody in America, they love that green money, and money makes the world go around. So without that, you can't really do much. And that's what he creates. He creates wealth for everybody, not just the rich, the poor. I think he would do more for the less fortunate than any person that would probably step on that stage. It comes down to it. I think all the money that we've wasted in Ukraine could have been put towards all these homeless veterans that are sitting around America and starving to death every day and killing themselves, and all these veterans that come out of the military as of recent, and they literally kill themselves every day on suicide, and they need more help. Yeah. Why couldn't you use that 96, whatever it was $1 billion, and put it back in?
Billions of dollars.
Build communities for these people and let them try to reestablish themselves back into a reality, not just throw them to the curb saying, oh, thank you for what you did, but,
Good luck with your nightmares.
Exactly.
And actually give it to the veterans and not the Pentagon, not let the Pentagon spend it, because you could repair a lot of America with just the money that was lost by the Pentagon this year.
You could literally, the $96 billion, you could literally pull most of America out of debt. I mean, that's just, you got to think, you give some of the less fortunate people who's sitting on, house payments or car payments, and just say, here, we'll wipe that out for you. We'll wipe that out for you. That right there would help the economy, because people are going to go out and guess what? They're going to have more money. They're going to go out and purchase more things, which goes back in the economy, which makes it even greater than what it, better than what it is.
Yeah, which goes back to the very libertarian stance, but I actually believe in it. I'm with Alan on this. If they just stop taxing us, just let me have my money that I earned, and I think that would change almost everything overnight.
The thing with the tax thing, but you got to think, their taxes don't only go towards.
Don't you say roads? Don't you dare say roads?
I'm not going to say roads, but
that's what everybody says.
This now it does go. They just do Brookville Road, which is very nice and smooth now. It does. It's funny that took so long because it's right there on NDOT's entranceway. That bridge is still junk, but they've really done 52 over again, and it's very smooth. It's almost as smooth, I guess, as your bidet would make you.
Well, they could have did that with the taxes that they already did with all the goods and services that was brought in.
But it would if they just put it back
Not
into
on the individual.
I mean, they have done a lot of. If you've seen some of our old stomping grounds, they have used it to revamp a lot of that old neighborhoods over there, which is very nice to see. Closer to downtown, you got $500,000 homes now that are in our old neighborhoods, where we grew up, where we've seen a lot of things happen, and
a lot of bad things.
And they're like, this place will never go anywhere, but they've actually, put the money back in and tried to rebuild it, which is nice. They're trying to make
we'll see how long it lasts.
Downtown. They're trying to make downtown more attractable, for big events again. So hopefully that I don't extreme tax, down a little bit. There's enough people alive that go out and work, and if unemployment rate is as low as they say it is, and all this money's coming out, then we have enough people to lower little taxes a little bit.
Yeah.
And
we can share the burden a little bit better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we pay maybe a little bit higher tax than those people that make more money than us. And that's not fair to people who have to work as hard as we do every day. And so I can see where that standpoint is on the taxes. But
don't you bring up those roads.
That one road is very nice, though.
We'll just tell them it's for roads, and they'll give us all their money.
If they made it a musical road, that would have been even better. I would have loved it.
That'd have been cool. It'd be cool. It'd be really cool if we had one of those.
Some Megadeth or something on that road.
Well, there's that. I was kind of thinking, those little grooved roads. Those are neat. Have you seen those?
Yeah, I don't want a musical road.
Yeah, those are cool.
Drive a certain mile per hour just to hear some music. Yeah,
yeah, those are pretty sweet. Have you seen those?
Yes.
They're over.
You've seen those?
They're over in like Europe or something.
You know what your assignment is this week, Sterling?
I've seen the solar powered roads.
That's enough of you.
They basically heat themselves, so the snow never.
That's actually pretty cool.
I think there's actually some in the United States somewhere where they actually have some highways that are actually solar paneled, and they'll melt the snow right off of them if they actually it helps the city take care of the streets that way, and they don't have to worry about plowing the roads. Which I would like to see more of that if that was the case. They actually illuminate themselves too, so you don't have lines and stuff like that. You'll see the lines are illumination. It actually brightens the road up, so people who can't see at night, who have problems seeing at night, can actually see the road better. I think they should do more of that. Yeah. If we're paying so high of taxes, why not do something good for everybody who's paid those taxes?
Do it right instead of just keep paving it.
Exactly.
They need to focus more on home versus abroad, in my opinion.
Exactly. Take care of America first.
Absolutely, guys.
So it's almost like that's somebody's entire platform.
It's not even like a selfish thing. I don't see it.
I think it's mine.
Thing. You take care of your nation, so that
take
you
care
can
of the
prosper.
hand that feeds you.
Yeah, so you can prosper, and then if other countries need it, you're prosperous enough, then you can help.
Then you tell them take care of their own stuff.
If you're it's going to come at a cost.
Some of the wealthiest countries in the world, they don't help nobody else, and they're the smallest little country you could ever look at, and you're like, how do you have so much money? Well, because they are selfless. They're I'll just say self-full.
Selfish. Yeah, they take care of themselves. Yeah,
they take care of themselves. They don't care about anybody else. They're worried about their people. They're going to take care of themselves.
Absolutely.
Put your oxygen mask on first before you can help somebody else.
It's true. Can't fill from an empty cup, right? Okay. So I think that's a pretty good point here to go ahead and drive this home.
Like your bidet.
That's
the brush.
No, none of it.
I will win you guys over on this issue. I'm telling you.
No, we're not.
It will happen.
We're not.
One of these days, these guys will be talking about it.
One thing you will win us over on is a closing prayer, though.
Floss it. You got to floss it.
Thank you, Father God, for this chance once again to have this fellowship and fun. We had a lot of fun tonight. And I want to thank you again for this opportunity to be able to talk about your forgiveness, how it works, how sin works, what it is, and letting people know that they can ask your Son Jesus into their heart and forgive them for those sins and be able to go to heaven. We heard straight from James over here that it is real. It is something that's there, and we know that this will reach a lot of hearts, and we thank you for that. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And thank you for your message today. It was fantastic.
I appreciate it.
Floss it before you toss it.
Yeah, there you go. and that's the wonderful advice from Brother James today. Actually, it was great having you on, man. We need to have you on more often. This was a blast.
I tried.
All right. Can you not try to die next time, and that we have a different reason to have you on?
I don't know. I want to lose some more weight. So.
Right? Exactly. Right? I was like, man, I could get 20 more.
Exactly.
Get 20 more pounds off.
I could lose a lot more than 30
I just thought 20 more, and I just got to go in for a minute. I've already hit my out of pocket for the year. So this is
sure I did with the helicopter ride. It's like $70,000.
It's a freebie 20 off.
Paying that till I do die. Maybe I could band-aid it off. Maybe I could just take the bill and use your 2,400 PSI.
Rinse it off. So of course, we heard Josh and bring a excellent message today.
Shucks.
Thank you so much. I really did appreciate that message today.
It was wonderful.
It's just weird how it just falls into a lot of other problems that's going on too with me. So, which that's a whole nother thing.
And we hope to have you back, of course. Thanks for coming on. You know, I'm used to saying thanks for having me on. Thanks for coming on, man. This has been a good time.
Hosting is hard, isn't it?
Not really. No, just the words. Just the words. All of it's fun till the words have to come out. So, Sterling,
It's like mouth.
it's great to see you on this side of the computer.
Yeah.
And it's even better to see Laura on that side of the computer. Great job, Laura.
Yeah.
Yay.
You pushed a few wrong buttons.
It's okay. You guys will see that in the blooper. It's
We don't
pretty great, actually. I wanted to keep it in.
Rumble
but,
exclusive.
Yep. And then the subsequent video of Josh sleeping on the couch. But Sterling, thank you so much, man. You rock.
Yeah, thanks for
We
having
appreciate
me on.
you.
Appreciate it.
And roll.
Thank you for letting me on.
Oh, you're welcome.
He rolls too.
You're
And
welcome.
we also got to thank Alan for
Ah,
listening. Alan did a great job. We
Oh,
can't
thank
forget.
you.
I know he's over there itching for it.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
The light, I
just
think
shining.
it did get really bright all of a sudden over
Yeah.
there. So I was just like making sure that we, did say thank you to Alan. Alan did a good job with his
Thank you.
fantastic, perfect hair.
Oh,
He does have a little swoop
There's
going
a
on the
weird thing
side.
going
yeah,
on,
swoop.
actually.
Little swoop.
It kind of,
This is probably kicking up on the side a little. I don't
kind
know.
of looks like if
Don't look at it.
Trump has some hair problems too.
Oh no, I should probably get this cut then.
Immediately.
But
just go bald.
anyway, before
Fantastic hair.
while these guys razz me, and you can listen to it on the background, I want to go ahead and tell you guys to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell if you're already subscribed. Definitely like, share with all of your friends. Check out Revolver Broadcasting every single place you could possibly find us, whether that's an audio podcast, whether that's on any kind of social media. Make sure you check it out. And definitely, if you haven't already commented, what's wrong with you? Come on now. Let's get it going.
What are you doing with your life?
Yeah, right? I mean, come on. Comment. We've been commenting for an hour and a half. All right. So this is all I'm asking you to do is just drop some comments down there so we can reply to you, see what you think. All right. Beyond that, anybody got anything you want to close with? Because I can just go ahead and close it out by saying, hey guys, have a great week. Come back next week. Check out everything we got, and we'll see you then.